All right, I'm a little sick today, so bear with me. My throat's not feeling the best, got a little sore throat and a headache. So this might be a little short one, but for those of you that think you can trade on your own when 99% of people fail is kind of insane. Like, you need God on your side to succeed. I don't see how you would be able to trade with a peace of mind and without greed without God on your side. So get right with God so you can trade and achieve all your dreams. But for the market recap today and the trade recap, no trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday was a red candle news day, so we didn't take a trade then. But today, looking at the 15-minute time frame, with market open, we had a massive sell-off with this candle right here. So with that, I marked out the lows that we could possibly target, and it was previous day lows, Asian lows, and these lows from Tuesday. So with that, also looking at ES, there's a massive SMT here that we got. ES made a higher high, NQ made a lower high. So we were bearish on the day, targeting these liquidity points down here. Then going down to the 1 minute time frame, seeing the sell-off, we were looking for a continuation trade or manipulation, whatever showed up, but just looking for a continuation trade. And then a displacement. We didn't really have anything crazy. Yeah, we had a SMT right here. ES made another higher high while NQ made a lower high. But there was no displacement through the lows, so we didn't take a trade right there. It took a little while, had a little consolidation in the middle of it, so wanted to stay away from that. And we were waiting again for any displacement move, and there was a fair value gap right here, but no displacement move again through these lows down here. So we saw a lot of that, of manipulation, order block, fair value gap, inverse fair value gap getting filled, but no displacement. So no trades were taken towards this liquidity right here with the Asian lows. And then we had a sweep through the lows, and it respected it pretty well. We went into a little consolidation right here through this period, but it didn't look like it wanted to go lower. So with my plan at the start of the day, I told myself that once it targets the liquidity, wait to see and react how the market reacts to the liquidity, I guess you could say, and go my bias based off of that. So it reacted off of liquidity pretty well. So then I had to switch my bias to bullish, and I didn't switch it till a little bit later, till it broke through these highs. I was like, okay, it retested this liquidity zone and went higher again. So I'm more thinking it's taking longs now after it respected liquidity. So I'm looking for longs. We had this big fair value gap right here breaking through these highs. So I was like, okay, because it didn't respect those highs, we're definitely going higher. And with the fair value gap and the wick tapped into the fair value gap, I wanted to see a displacement through, because these candles are like so conjoined and congested, I guess. Not much happening. I wanted to see a displacement through these highs, the wick high instead of the close high. And as you can see in 2 candles, we saw that, and a displacement move is 3 candles at most. So we wanted to take a trade, and right as this candle closed, it shot higher. So I was waiting for a move lower so I could get a better entry point, but we didn't get that. So I entered in, I believe, I was waiting for this candle just to come down a little bit more, but we didn't see that. And then it closed on me, so I entered in this candle at the start of it, with the stops at the fair value gap, the wick tapping into the fair value gap below. And then we targeted this, we targeted this big fair value gap because it's within a 15-minute fair value gap and it's within a 1 hour fair value gap. I'll show you guys right here. 15-minute, massive 15-minute, and then also a big 1 hour. So big fair value gaps right there. But going down to the 1 minute, because I'm taking trades on the 1 minute, I want to have that target of the fair value gap on the 1 minute, and especially because this market open candle, it's a lot better chance for a liquidity zone. So with it, I had the take profit at the start of the fair value gap of market open, making it about a 1 to 1.8 risk reward ratio. And as you can see, it's still going, but I had a little, I stopped out my trade a little early. When it broke through these highs over here, I didn't take partials, but I did move my stop to break even just to take risk off the table, and I moved it to, I believe it was this right around here, just above break even. And then we saw a little move higher and come back down, and I still kept it there. And as it broke through these highs, then I kept moving my stop as a trailing stop to this fair value gap made. I thought we were going to respect the fair value gap, and if I didn't, I thought I was going to go lower towards the stop. So I had my stop loss right below that fair value gap at the candle wicks high, and as you can see, it tapped in, and that's where I got closed out of the trade. And obviously, as you can see, if I had a little bit more leeway and put it towards the middle of the order block, it most likely will hit TP. But that's one of the things that you got to avoid in trading is FOMO. You can't have FOMO. You just got to be happy with the profits that you took or learn from it. You can't have FOMO, otherwise it will eat you alive literally all day, and that's all you're going to be thinking about. So I can't have that, and it looks like it got pretty close to TP, but it's making this big move down, so you never know. Not a picture perfect trade, not an A+ trade. It was, I knew it wanted to show continuation here because it respected the liquidity sweep, and we had a bunch of continuation trades here too. So it was kind of a day for continuation trades, but that's why I mainly took this trade, not like a perfect A+ trade. I would even give it a lower probability trade. That's also why I wanted to wait for the move through the highs, because it was so low probability, and I was okay with taking the loss. In my mind, before even entering the trade, I was thinking of what my account balance would be if I took the loss, and thinking of it as a loss. So that was a good way to keep my psychology in check, just to think of it as a loss. And if it goes to TP, great, and if you make money, awesome. But I needed a win, which is good, because I'm still in my evaluation accounts for Take Profit Trader, and with the minimal trades taken in the two break-even trades on the week, you could say it's a wasted week, but that's just what you have to deal with. Sometimes you don't get the best weeks, and there's a lot of consolidation within the middle of the weeks, but that's kind of just what you have to deal with, and stay out of that as a profitable trader. And instead of taking a loss, don't take a trade at all, and be okay with not taking a trade, which I was very, very okay not taking a trade here today. But then I saw an opportunity for buys higher towards the fair value gap, and thought it was a good opportunity to get in and hopefully get closer to completing the evaluation account to get onto the funded account. So hopefully I can do that. Tomorrow is first day in May. This April, I had a very, very good win rate, but I will say I had two big loss days that kind of ruined it. So let's see if I can get into the tab. Okay, here we go. So with April, we had a 71.4% win rate and went 15 for 21. But you think with that win rate, I would have a better total profit. But because of these 2 days where I upped my risk on this one, lost $2,000, and then on the next Monday, I had 2 losses in a row, losing $2,000. That depleted $4,000 of my profits pretty quick in 2 days. But in the rest of these trades, like on the 1st, on the 13th, today, on Monday, they're like break-even trades, not full TP. So that's why the total profit wasn't the highest, but still a very, very, very good win rate for me. I usually have around a 55% win rate with a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. So risk to reward is a little bit lower this month and a win rate is a little higher. That evens out. It's not a big deal. I like the win rate though. Hopefully we can keep that up in May. And Friday is May 1st. So going into May and all of the first full week of May, so the 4th through 8th, I am hopefully going to pass my evaluation account and move to the funded with the intraday trailing drawdown, which sucks, but that means we got to de-risk and be a little bit more careful on that. So not a huge deal, but yeah, nothing crazy here today. Just a lot of continuation for today, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday they're all consolidation where it just moved. There was no clear target of liquidity. Not like it didn't have a huge move down like today where you could have taken a continuation trade. So I just stayed out of the market that day. I'm pretty happy about that. But pretty much all I got for the trade recap today. But know that you can't trade alone. You have to trade with God to be profitable. And with the talk about God, we are going to go into the verse of the day, but know that He gives you the peace of mind to trust the process, be okay with the losses, be okay with being in drawdown, seeing negative number, because you know it's not about today, it's about the month and the total P&L on the month and year. That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter about daily. And if you stay disciplined and trust your process, you will be profitable. And God really, really helps you stay disciplined and keep a peace mind and stay happy even on losing days. So that's why you need to trade and have a good relationship with God, because He will help you do that. You cannot do it alone. But verse of the day today is Acts 10:43, and Acts 10:43 says, "All the prophets testify about Him that everyone who believes in Him receives forgiveness of sins through His name." So basically, if you believe in Jesus, you will be forgiven and you will go to heaven, but you have to believe in your heart that He died for your sins on the cross. But if you believe in Him, you will receive forgiveness of your sins. I don't know why I can't talk right now. You will receive forgiveness for your sins through His name. But yeah, pretty much what I got today. Sorry, I'm a little sick. I'm not talking the best today. Been a little out of it. Yesterday I skipped both of my classes because I was not feeling well, and yesterday with the Red Candle News, I was not trading. So let's see if I can pull it up. here, I'll pull up Forex Factory to show you the red candle news. And the reason I didn't trade yesterday is because we had red candle news at 9:30, so 10:30 Eastern. And with my trading strategy, I trade from 9:30 Eastern to 11:30 Eastern. And if there's news at 10 Eastern time, then I will wait for the news to come out and then trade afterwards, the hour and a half after that. But when there is any red candle news, or red folder news, not candle, when there's red folder news, any time after 10 within my trading period, I will not trade, and I will just take that as a day off to trade. So that's the reason I didn't trade yesterday, just took out of that. And I kept on saying that I didn't trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but today is Thursday, so I don't know what I'm saying, but my bad for that. But yeah, so that's what I got for you guys today. Just make sure not to trade on red folder news during the middle of your trading hours, because then you got to take a break and make sure to not enter, because it can highly impact your trade whatever way it's going. Plus a lot of prop firms have rules against that, where you could blow your account completely if you do that. So make sure to be safe. May 1st tomorrow. Hopefully we can do a very good month for May and pass our evaluations. That's the main goal, and get our buffer created for the funded accounts. So with all that being said, I will update you guys during May on my next trades.